Well, hello there. Breeda Miller here in the Caregiver Clubhouse. And as promised, this is the first of 3 helpinars, not webinars. I've been deeply scarred by some really bad ones, so I refuse to call it that. But this is just a short helpinar that I want to share with you some ideas that I have about ways that you can take better care of yourself as a caregiver. And it's a little tool that I think is going to be really helpful, and I hope that you enjoy it. But first, I want to share with you a few thoughts that I've had about being a caregiver. When I was my mom's caregiver, I tried to do the very best that I could. And to be honest, there were days when I certainly I'm not proud of, that I lost my temper. I was exhausted, I was overwhelmed, and I just wasn't my best self. And I had a stack of books, and here is not the entire stack, but a partial stack of books that I got that I thought might help me. And they're good books, they're well written. But honestly, I was too tired to read most of them. A couple of exceptions. I did read this one, Cruising Through Caregiving by my friend Jennifer Fitzpatrick. Now my friend. At the time, I didn't know her. And it's a terrific book and a terrific resource if you're looking for that. Another book that has nothing to do with caregiving, but I just really like it a lot. And it's really important stuff I learned from my dog. So this is just a fun book, pictures and words of wisdom, dog stuff. It's excellent. I like it. This book in particular, though, was very helpful. It came out in 2010. It's available probably at your library. Gail Sheehy, and it was Passages in Caregiving. So here's the thing about this book. When I first started caring for my mother, a family member who shall remain nameless, came up to me and said, "Hey, Breeda, better watch yourself, because do you know caregiving will take 10 years off your life, right? Right? You know that, don't you?" I said, "No, thank you very much. That's really good information to have. I appreciate knowing that. It's great." And I thought to myself, wow. A, that's a horrible thing to say to a caregiver. And B, I need to find out more about that. Is that true? Is that a rumor? What's going on here? So I read in Gail Sheehy's book that she had heard the same thing. People have been saying this for a long time. And in her research, she found that this was true for 1/3 of the population. About 33% felt and experienced such stress that it caused physical harm, mental harm, and that their lives were indeed shortened by their caregiving experience. But she also found that 1/3 of the population experienced a very positive feeling of fulfillment, of sense of purpose, that they were very grateful that they had the opportunity. And while it was hard and challenging, at the end of the day, they felt honored, and they felt that it was one of the most ennobling and good experiences in their lifetime. And then she learned that people right in the middle, about another third, had somewhat negative and somewhat positive experience, and they were kind of neutral. So all I knew was that I wanted to be in the group on this side, in this population. And what could I do? How could I possibly make sure that my experience as a caregiver was not only really the best that I could be for my mother, but also for myself, that I would not lose myself in this process, because I didn't know how long I would be a caregiver for. So I started doing a lot of research, talking to a lot of caregivers, talking to a lot of people, and that's why I have created this program, the Caregiver Clubhouse. So here's what I promised that I would share with you today. This is one of the tools. And remember when our kids were little and we had the sticker charts to help motivate them to do the jobs that they needed to do, or to reward them for things they've done? Well, this is a sticker chart for you. So this is your self-care survival tracker. And it is an evergreen sheet, meaning that I just created this one time, and you can print it and fill it out. So you just put the current month up here, and you write in the current month, and then you fill in the calendar with the days of the month. And then over here, you write down your favorite activities, events, things that make you feel good, things that refresh you. So for some people, it's yoga. For some people, it's knitting. For some folks, it's reading. Everybody has different things that they really enjoy. Some people actually like running. That would not be me. But some people like going to maybe a jazzercise class or something like that. And for other folks, it's just going for a walk, which is more my style. Anyway, what I want you to think about is what are some things you can do every single day with intention that can help you feel better about your caregiving experience. So one of the things I have here is mindful coffee. Every day I have a cup of coffee in the morning. This is my cup of tea. In fact, this is one of my favorite mugs. It says, "Life is like a cup of tea. It's all about how you make it." So I don't just knock this tea back. Number one, it's too hot. I can't do that. But if you can find a way to enjoy your coffee or your tea in a mindful way, it's a great opportunity to take 5 or 10 minutes to just center yourself by yourself. Find a comfy spot, a comfy chair, a porch, the garage, the basement if you have to. Find a place where you can enjoy this on your own, in your own time, in your own space. So that's one. When you do it, I have the little symbol on here of a little teacup that I drew, and you can tell I'm not an art major. But just write it down in this calendar. This is August, so I didn't want to cheat and say it was already all filled out. Walking, the big red star. This is my big thing. I need to do more of this, but I need to find the time and get my butt up every morning and do it before my day begins. Otherwise, the day gets away from me and I just don't make it happen. Even 15 minutes of walking can make you feel better both mentally and physically, gets the blood going. Walking is the one activity or sport that I feel quite capable of doing. There's not a lot of rules, one foot in front of the other. The only equipment you need are good shoes. So any event that requires nice shoes, I'm all for. Shoes are my favorite. Nap time, another skill that I have. So the symbol for the nap time, this is not a brassiere. This is not a bra, no. This is an eye mask. So if you can find a way to take a nap, if it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes once a week, maybe once a day if you're really lucky, who knows. But find a way that you can get that kind of additional rest to charge your batteries. And if you can't sleep, just find a place to put your feet up for 10 minutes and just rest. Just rest. You're going strong. You are taking care of a person. You're taking care of your home. You need to take care of yourself. And then the last thing I have on here is a special occasion, and I wrote down movie or show, something that is an outing that we're going to, so that you have something to look forward to. So that's what's listed on this chart. So for you, it can be whatever it needs to be. And this is not about creating a to-do list that you're going to feel guilty about if you don't get it done, or that is meant to impress anyone else. This is just for you, things that are meaningful to you that will charge your batteries. Speaking of charging your batteries, so I have this watch that I just love, and it's a very special watch because I mentioned to my kids a few years ago that I would love to have this kind of a watch, but it was pretty extravagant and something that I never would purchase for myself. So they pooled their money and they bought this beautiful watch for me, and it has a battery in it. And I've had this watch for 3 years, and I don't think about it. It just runs all the time. It's got a battery. I don't need to wind it. I don't need to remember that the old days when we had to wind a watch. Anyway, about a week ago, it just stopped. The battery died. Unexpected. It didn't tell me. It didn't make an appointment. It didn't ask, was this a convenient time for the battery to die? Just reminded me of myself and of caregivers, that we just keep going and going and going. We take it for granted. We just assume we're just going to keep on going until the day that we are so overwhelmed and so exhausted that we just can't go anymore. So what I want to suggest to you is that this whole idea that I am presenting to you is a pathway of doing small things every day that can build upon each other, that can help you so that you can be the very best person, your best self again, so that you can be the best caregiver for the one that you care for. Remember that self-care is not selfish, it's survival. And my biggest message to you, take a break before you break. And I'll see you again soon. This is Breeda Miller. Take good care of yourself.